You can say dead. You can say someone was killed or murdered. You don't have to say, oh, he unalived him. That's stupid. Oh, blah, blah, blah. It's to get around censorship because blah, blah, blah. They won't let people say dead. You can say dead. Like, it's getting to the point where even newspapers will say, like, oh, you know, Scarlett Johansson was found unalived in his office yesterday.
Sorry, Scarlett Johansson was killed? What?
No, it's to the point where newspapers, when reporting on, like, a crime, will say, like, oh, so-and-so person was found unalived. It's like, you can just say that they're dead. It's okay.
I will say, I haven't actually seen any actual news, like newscasts or stuff like that, since that use of that phrase started going around. That, on one hand, that would surprise me if they actually do that. On the other hand, it absolutely would not.
Well, because they want to be, like, hip with the youth, and youth say unalive, because if they say dead, then certain online platforms will censor them. And so, like, oh, you can't say dead, that's a bad no-no word. We don't want the concept of death to be on our platform.
Delicious.
Even if it's, like, you know, you're talking about a political figure, Arthur? Whatever, King Arthur died, and so-and-so, it's like, oh, you can't say died! You can't say died! That's a no-no naughty word. You might as well just be cursing up a storm. That's a swear word now. You can't say died. It's like, okay, well, King Arthur was unalived, and so it's like, oh yeah, you can say unalived. We don't care because we're actually a bot looking for specific
No, you can't say died. Wait, you can't say died? Okay, fine, I unalived my hair.
Yeah. It's like, oh, you can't say, like, died. It's like, okay, well, fine. We'll, you know, find something else to work around. But, like, they mean it, like, the same things. So all it would take for the company to, like, say, like, oh, well, now they're just saying unalive instead of died. We'll just censor them saying unalived. But no, they haven't. People just... And it's... Every time I see it, it's like, oh, they got unalived. And then the other argument I hear for it is, oh, well, some people get, like, triggered if they see, like, dead. And it's like... Sometimes... It's like, I understand the usage of, like, trigger warnings and how they can be impactful and important for people, but sometimes those trigger warnings go... Sometimes these trigger warnings are in such a situation, how could they actually help someone? Or... Like, if you have, like, having a conversation with someone and they say, like, oh yeah, my uncle, trigger warning, death. Unalived, end trigger warning, death. Last week.
Yeah, that's
like, I've seen that on, like, Discord sometimes, so it's like, oh yes, my uncle, brackets, trigger warning, death. And then spoiler text. And then brackets, / trigger warning, death. Last week. It's like, if someone has such a phobia about death that they cannot bear to, like, see the sentence, my uncle died last week, without getting, like, you know, without getting some, like, what? If they can't read the sentence, my uncle died last week, is that going to make it better for them? Oh, I didn't read that their uncle died. I read that they did something that has to do with death. That's, like, one word. But I didn't actually, you know, click the spoiler tag to see that they had died. I just know that they had something to do with death. And it's like, if you're going to trigger ward, you know, if you're going to trigger ward something, or put, like, you know, if you're going to put a trigger warning on something, that's the term, maybe you don't do it for just that one word, and then say, like, yeah. So it's like, no, you tell... It's like, oh, like, you know... But it's like, if someone gets triggered off of seeing, like, death or died, how are they going to feel better to know that something is trigger warning death? is that better? Like, I seriously don't understand how that is better to see trigger warning death as opposed to just reading it. I understand if it's like a picture or something, like someone posts a spoilage picture and they say, hey, trigger warning spiders. It's like, okay, you know, don't like spiders, don't look at this thing. I understand when it comes to pictures and video. But when it's written text, and then the trigger warning is in written text, that doesn't seem like it works. Like... Azura, do you have any insight on the matter of
Watering time.
how written text would be better than written text for avoiding person being triggered?
I hope it comes out okay.
How written text can be better than written text? What?
So, for example, I saw someone say in a Discord, my uncle, bracket, TW, trigger warning, colon, death, close bracket. Spoiler text. Bracket, /TW, so end of trigger warning, colon, death.
Okay,
Close
well, I
bracket.
get that.
Last week.
Okay, well, yeah, that just sounds incredibly, like, defeats the purpose.
Yes. See, that's what I'm thinking. Or, like, say if, you know, they are in, like, you know, not necessarily bands, but, like, you know, sad emotions channel, whatever, and they say, like, hey, trigger warning death. Like, my uncle died last week. Something, something, something. Here's how I feel, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, if someone sees the, like, hey, trigger warning death, is that better than seeing the text of, like, oh, so-and-so person died? And if someone does have a big trigger on death, they, you know, someone important to them died when they were young, so they have, like, PTSD about it, and they don't want to think about, like, dying and whatnot. Sure. But then they see trigger warning death, wouldn't that trigger them anyway?
Exactly.
So how is that better to have a written thing of trigger warning death? And then also, if this person has, you know, big, like, you know, PTSD about dying, and they see, like, oh, my uncle unalived last week. Does that get around their trigger? If they think about someone unaliving, is that better than just hearing that
Big
someone
and
died?
strong, okay?
Would that get around the person's trigger?
I hope it comes out okay. Go big and strong, okay?
Also, right, thing I wanted to say about your locker story. In the same school I've been
I
talking
hope it
about
comes out
for
okay.
most of this time,
I hope it comes out okay.
there was... I remember one day, in grade, I think 7? It's so small. I think grade 6, but no. Grade 7 student climbed into a locker to, like, show that they would fit in it. And there's, like, me and, like, some other people, like, you know, watching them do it. It's like, yeah, you can fit in that locker. And then someone, definitely not me, and then someone, like, walked up and, like, just tapped on the locker, like, as if to close it, like, you know, poof. And, like, 2 people, like, jump forward to make sure they didn't actually close the locker. Like, the person did... And, of course, I was reminded of that when you were telling me about your locker story, where people were very much there, very much wanting to, not risk it, them being closed in a locker. And close to your story, where someone willingly got closed into it and then wound up getting locked. But anyway, like, I don't know, if someone is so triggered by something that even seeing, like, text on a screen of their thing, or words on a page, whatever, like, oh yeah, I have some arachnophobia.
I hope it comes out okay.
Not, like, a lot of arachnophobia, but I do have some. And
Watering time.
Axe definitely has
I hope it comes out
arachnophobia.
okay.
But imagine if,
I hope it comes out
like,
okay.
mine or Axe's arachnophobia was so bad that even if you say spider, that would be enough to send us over. Like,
Watering time.
you know,
Watering
you post
time.
something to
Watering time.
one of the chats and you spoiler it, and it's like, oh hey, trigger warning, spider.
I hope it comes out okay.
It just seemed the word spider was enough. Like, how do you go as a person where seeing certain words? Like, I understand it if, like, someone's like, oh, hey, I'm going to talk about, like, the care and raising of spiders. Like, to go back to death. Oh, my uncle died, and I want to talk about it, and then, you know, going into it, that could, blah, 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 but it's like, that's why you, like, just title, like, the thing, it's like, my uncle died, I want to talk about it. And then you talk about it, and then if someone, you know, doesn't want to hear about death, they just don't read it. Easy. But it's like, oh, trigger warning. But it's like, I wish I had, like, screenshot that one line that I saw. But it's like, it seems like some communities are so wanting to cover everybody in pillows that they don't, that they defeat their own purpose. They cover everything in pillows to such a degree that everyone just gets smothered. Oh, right, no, I'd already been in this place. I have to go to a different place, but... I remember reading about D&D stuff. Circling all the way back to D&D again. I remember reading about D&D stuff, and about how, in some games, people have been doing, like, consent sheets. And it's like, hey, this stuff is good. You give everyone, like, a sheet of things, and it's like, oh, hey,
I hope it comes out
are you
okay.
willing to see this in the game? Are you willing to just have it be discussed but not actually shown? Or do you just not want it to happen at all? And it's like, you know, like, assault of animals, like, assault of children,
Big
you
and
know.
strong, okay? Watering time.
What sort of things are you, like, willing to have in this?
I hope it comes
and
out
what
okay.
things are- And it's like, yeah, that's good. Like, don't get me wrong, like, I think that's a good thing. You have these, like, consent forms, so the DM knows, like, okay,
I hope it
like,
comes out okay.
like, okay, everyone in the party is willing to see, like, children getting hurt, but the party does not want to see, like, a dog getting hurt. So, for example.
I hope it comes out okay.
Although, some of the things I've seen on the D&D consent forms are like, how do you play D&D without these things? Like,
You're big and strong,
assault
okay?
in general.
Watering
If someone
time.
says that they do not want any sort of, like, assault, then it's like, but how do you do combat without...
Watering time.
without... It's like, oh, I can't, like, stand here about anybody getting
You're
killed.
big
It's like,
and strong, okay?
I mean, technically you can run D&D and just say, like, oh, people got, like, you know, knocked out and not actually dead. Like, you could just say that. So it's like, yeah, but it's like,
Watering time.
how do you... It's like, oh, I can't stand, like, hearing about, like, people getting, like, hurt. And it's like, I think you might want to play a different tabletop RPG. One that doesn't deal, like... Am I a bad person for thinking that? Like, I'm not saying don't play a game, I'm saying play something that would better suit.
You're big
what
and
you-
strong, okay?
But that's not what I wanted to talk about. What I wanted to mention are... I
You're
saw
big
these
and
things
strong,
as, like,
okay?
a wheel of... I forget the terminology of it. That's like... Wheel of enthusiastic consent, or... It's essentially a safe word for D&D, but instead of just saying, hey, I'm not comfortable, or, you know, applesauce, or...
I hope it comes out okay. Watering time.
So, instead of just, like, saying, oh, hey, I don't like where this scene is going. Can we, you know, not have a 20-minute scene with, you know, two people just running back and, like... hey, when these characters go and, like, have sex, can we just, like, fade to black on that?
I hope
and
it
not
comes out
have
okay.
you, like, describe everything that's happening?
Ouch!
But instead, or that, you know, instead of doing that, some groups, and there's like things like recommending to have groups like, oh, put like a code word. If someone's uncomfortable with what's going on, they say like applesauce, and that's supposed to let everybody know, hey, I'm uncomfortable with this. Can we not have this happen in a certain way that I'm uncomfortable with? Instead of using their words to describe exactly what they don't like. About it, it's like, oh hey, something about this is off. It's like the pizza guy from Zubini's.
Go big and
There's
strong,
something
okay?
on this I don't want. I don't like. And you just have to determine what it is so you don't do it in the future. Or you could just, you know, use your words. But then there's another thing of like, instead of vocalizing what you don't like, or just saying like a safe word, that you don't like something. Instead, a wheel is put out in the middle of the table, and it has like different like colors on it. So it says, it's kind of like a pie chart, so it's like a green section. So like a green section and a red section, and usually like an orange section. And it's like people are supposed to touch the wheel to like express if they like or don't like what's going on. So it's like, oh, touching the green section means I am like totally down with what is, like, I am okay with what is happening. Or if you touch like the orange section or yellow, whatever, it's like, hey, something about this is starting to go a bit past my point of like comfort. Like, it's not an issue now, but I would like it if we don't go further into the thing that is going on that I do not like. And if we touch the red section, it's like, hey, something is happening or has happened that I don't want to have.
Nice.
So I would like us to stop doing the thing that I am uncomfortable with. Again, instead of just saying as much. And as the DM, while everything else is going on, you're supposed to also keep an eye on this little wheel here to see, like, oh, is anyone touching, like, the yellow or red sections? No? Okay, let's continue. So, like, there have been a lot of times when a DM has gotten into a scene, and, like, maybe it's, like, mid-combat, and they're, like, looking through the stat blocks of the books, or whatever. Especially during combat. That's very distracting. And then if the DM just doesn't notice that someone is touching red for, like, I don't know, several minutes, and it turns out it's like, oh no, I actually, like, have a phobia against, like, whatever thing that we're fighting against. And instead of saying that, I've just been touching the red for the past 5 minutes while you've been, you know, running their attacks and stuff. And it's like, oh, well, I, as a DM, should have known that you had a phobia about that, if only we had a consent form so we can know that you don't like these. Like,
Yes! All right.
again, back to, like, spiders. It's like, oh yes, I have a phobia about spiders. I'd rather that we didn't, you know, have them as enemies. It's like, oh, bah, I didn't know that. If only I had a consent form so I would have known that, or whatever, but it's like, people typically have voices and can sit. Also, like, one sheet of paper in the table, most of the players aren't going to be able to reach that, and if they can, it's like in the middle of the battle map.
Watering
And,
time.
like,
I hope it
what if
comes out
someone,
okay.
like, wants to reach for red, but they can
Go
only
big and-
get,
go big
like,
and
the green?
strong, okay?
You, like, pick up the paper and move it towards them, but then what if someone else also wants to hit, like, yellow, but someone else has taken the paper? Like, it seems like a very neurotypical answer to something that neurodivergent people will just poke holes through, and then neurotypical people like, no, see, we're the ones helping we're the ones actually thinking about you. You don't think about you at all. Only we ever think about you. We actually care about you. So we're gonna put like one piece of paper in the middle of the table, and you just touch it if you start feeling bad. We don't want you to have to actually talk or anything. Like, if someone can't talk. Also, if they don't want to, but like, if someone just cannot talk, there are other ways to get information across. Then, oh, touch this piece of paper. Or if everybody has their own paper, then the DM has to be watching everybody at all times. Like, okay, do you have your finger on the green? Okay, you moved your finger off of the paper. Are you still okay? Are you still okay? Can you touch the green so I know that you're, like... And especially, what's the point of having the green? I would personally assume if someone doesn't have a problem with what's going on, then they don't have a problem with what's going on.
Damn it!
Like, I understand that neurotypical people need constant assurance that, no, things are actually okay. Everything is okay. Everything is okay. But, I mean, it's usually when they're saying that things are okay, that things are actually not okay. So, like, it doesn't actually mean anything to say that things are okay anyway. And, like, even if, like, a table does have these things, like, implemented, if a DM has decided, like, hey, consent forms and blah, 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 it's like, all it takes is, and then, like, you know, even if a table tries to do everything right, and then DM, like, just slips up, it's like, oh, yeah, like, some spiders. It's like, oh, actually, I've been back. Oh, it's like, I was, you know, busy for the past few minutes, looking up, like, the spider stat block. You have your finger on, like, the yellow section. It's like, oh, I don't like spiders. I'd rather not, like, fight them. It's like, oh, well, I guess we could summon something else that... Oh, no, actually, I just don't... I don't like any sorts of, like, bugs, either. Like, oh, and I don't want them to summon animals, because I don't want to have to actually, like, fight an animal. It's like...
Big and strong, okay?
Oh, it's like, well, again, consent form is a big thing for avoiding this. I still remember in one game, we went through the consent form, all in person, and that also has its own issues. Like, okay, if the consent form is done on an individual person-to-person basis, like, you know, DM messages each person themselves like a consent form, then collects them all up, and like that's how it's supposed to be done. And then, like, you know, DM doesn't have to say, oh, so-and-so has arachnophobia. But then, like, what if someone else wants to, like, you know, summon nature's ally? I summon a spider! It's like, oh, well, you can't, because so-and-so has arachnophobia. Like, so, okay, with that logic, then it's like, oh, it makes sense that you, like, make sure to tell the players that other people have issues about things before it comes up, so the consent sheet might as well be public. But, what if someone just doesn't want their arachnophobia to be known? Or someone's like, oh, yeah, no. Like, I wouldn't put in a consent form that I have arachnophobia. Like, I can totally, like, play D&D with, like, spiders, like, in the group. I could play as a spider. So what? Yeah, let's go down and fight against Lob and spider armies and have spiders. Like, I can totally, like, yes, I have some arachnophobia. I can totally, you know, I would not say that I have arachnophobia in a D&D consent form. But, like, because for the purposes of D&D, it's not the same, like, D&D does not trigger what I fear about spiders. But, then if some monster is like, oh yes, a swarm of spiders, like, climbs up your body and, like, that's what my arachnophobia is. It's not of the spiders themselves, it's that the spiders might touch me. Like, I'm sure that if I saw, like, a giant spider, like a 10-foot tall spider,
I hope it comes
like,
out okay.
I'd be very sure it's a giant thing. But I wouldn't be as afraid of that as like a
Big and strong,
2 millimeter
okay?
long spider.
You're big and strong, okay?
I have kicked spiders because they've been like on things I wanted to handle.
You're
Yeah,
big and strong, okay?
but it's like
You're big
if
and
I join a
strong,
D&D
okay?
game and it uses the consent forms, and it has those wheels, whatever,
I hope
and
it
it's
comes
like
out
okay, everybody has
Watering
to
time.
like say
You're
like
big and
what
strong,
your
okay?
everyone's. And it's like, oh, we fight against the spiders. It's like, okay, cool, I'm totally fine with this.
I hope it comes out
Like,
okay.
oh yeah, blah blah blah, spiders, they shoot
You're
out
big and strong,
lab and
okay?
oh, if they
You're
fight
big
you,
and
it's
strong,
spam. Like,
okay?
okay, sure, whatever. It's just another thing.
Level up.
Do you think I should have? So I'm just seeing the title of this video: Trigger warning: spiders. Trigger warning: arachnophobia.
You're big and strong,
But
okay?
no, it's like, no, I'm not afraid of spiders. I'm afraid of people who are
right.
afraid of spiders. It's very different.
I hope it comes out okay.
But anyway, so yeah, if I were to like be playing D&D, spiders, blah blah blah, everything going fine, and then it's like, oh yeah, the spider companion like climbs like up your arm, you can feel its skittering feet against your skin, just barely touching against your flesh, and like.
You're big and
Then if
strong,
I start
okay?
getting creeped out and be like, hey, how about we like, like I get it, the spider is crawling, and you don't have to describe it. Oh, but you said you are openly enthusiastic to all things spiders. So we're going to be doing all things spiders. Like, no, I said I'm fine with spiders like, in general.
Speaking
I
of
don't think
spiders,
that's-
the other day,
Watering
speaking
time.
of spiders, the other day I was just sitting on my computer and I felt something like tickling my arm, or whatever, and there was just like a little house spider
I hope it comes out okay.
just coming and chilling with me.
Yeah.
To be safe, though, I did carefully, gather it up and take it outside. But
Yeah, if I had found that like there was a little spider on my arm, I would freak.
You're big and strong, okay?
I mean, I like spiders.
You're big and strong, okay?
I'm just
Spiders
picturing
are
like
cute.
I hope it comes out okay.
I'm just picturing like a thing like growing up. It's like, oh, mom, dad, there's a spider in the bathroom. It's like, oh, you have to be strong, son. You're gonna be a man one day. You're gonna have to deal with spiders. Oh yeah, that's what you think. Grows up, becomes a woman, doesn't have to deal with spiders.
Watering time.
That's what you think, Dad. But yeah, like, so who would be at fault in that such a situation, or especially if there's like another player who is like, no, like part of like my character is like using like animals, so like I have to use a spider for this ability of mine. And the DM allowed it because, oh, no one has listed arachnophobia. Is it my fault for saying that spiders are a green when I maybe should have said a yellow? Except yellow means never see the thing. We can mention it, but never actually deal with it. But whereas green is like, yeah, bring it on! Let's do everything about it! Whereas with most things, I'm not like enthusiastic about everything. It's like, I don't know, heights. I don't like heights. I can deal with it in like D&D because I'm not actually in a high
Hope
up
it comes
area.
out okay.
But like, okay, this is, nitpicking and going too far, but it's a thing I do for the sake of comedy. If in the consent form I say that like heights is like a green, it's like, yeah, I'm totally fine with heights. And then the DM decides, okay, cool, let's play D&D on top of a skyscraper.
You're big and strong, okay?
Am I the jerk for saying that I'm fine with heights in a fictional setting?
Watering time. You're big and strong, okay?
Like I said, I overemphasize the point. I hope that worked. Trigger warning, Thunder.
I hope it comes out okay.
Yeah. I remember we were going along the list as a group, like one at a time. It's like, oh, how about this? Like, okay. And if anybody said there was like yellow or red for them, we'd go with like the lowest value instead of averaging it, which, yeah, that's what you're supposed to do. If it's red for one person, then keep it as red. It's better when you have like the virtual forms, because if like one person's like out for a session, then you could include it in that session, and it's like...
Watering time! Grow big and strong, okay? Grow big and
I
strong.
still just know it's like, oh,
Grow big and strong, okay?
like more like psychological stuff. It's like, oh, like, you know, kidnapping / abductions. Like, could I, you know, have a plot point where, like, you know, a princess gets taken by a dragon, or would that trigger something? It could trigger
I hope
someone.
it comes out
I'm not
okay.
being sarcastic, it could. I'm talking weird, but, you know. And it's like, okay, that's fine. It's like,
Grow big and
okay,
strong,
gaslight.
okay?
And I just like look over at the people. It's like, there's no gaslighting on that. It's like, well, yes, there is. It's like this. I don't know what you're
Hope
talking
it
about.
comes out
Gaslighting's
okay.
on the page. And it's like, no, it's like right here, just under kidnapping. It's like, you mean assault? It's like, no, it goes straight from kidnapping to assault. Like, it took the DM a while to realize what I was doing.
I hope it comes out okay.
Everyone had a good laugh about it once the
Hope
DM
it comes
caught
out
on.
okay.
Unfortunately, nobody got triggered by gaslighting, so that's a good sign. Like, gaslighting, like, as a standalone is a
Hope
bad
it comes
thing,
out okay.
but there are some really funny jokes about gaslighting. Like, I didn't think that they were funny at first, but then someone told me that they were, so I guess they are.
Watering time.
I guess that one isn't so funny. Hey, Zara,
Hey, Claire.
Strong, okay?
how many incels does it take to screw in a light bulb?
All right.
I don't know, but I have a feeling it's going to end up that they don't even bother screwing it.
I mean, there's that. None. They're still using gaslighting.
I hope it comes out okay. Grow big and strong, okay? Watering time. I hope it comes out okay.
Eh.
I hope it comes out okay. Nice.
Yeah, time to go back home. Yeah, just some of the... And people go online and say, blah, blah, trigger warnings, bad, blah, blah, blah. It's like, no, trigger warnings are important for a society. I mean, saying that, say, like, if a product contains a potential allergen, that's a trigger warning, and it's very important. Of course, like, some of these notices do go a bit much, but it's still important to have. I mean, if, you know, posting a little icon on a little bit of text on your packaging, it's like, hey, this was, like, you know, made in a factory that, like, this could have been in contact with peanuts. If that little text saves a person's life, then it's absolutely worth it. Totally. But I remember, like, when the, like, peanut-free stuff started being, like, popular, 10, 15-ish years ago? I don't remember exactly when, but, you know, like, all of the candy stuff was going, like, oh yeah, we're totally moving peanut-free. It's like, yeah, we're making sure that we make this product in a peanut-free facility. Mars even had, like, a commercial that Mars bars were going to be made in, without peanuts. Like, they already didn't have peanuts. They are already made in a peanut-free facility. Like, yeah, sure, put the little thing on it. It's like, yeah, it's peanut-free. I don't know why you had to make a commercial that says, like, oh, now they're going to be made without peanuts, when they already weren't made without them. You could have had the commercial be all like, oh, yes, Mars always been, you know, made peanut. Like, I have a cousin who's allergic to, like, everything. having these little, like, notices of, like, you know, this may have this potential allergen, very important. People have died because, like, you know, they go to, like, get food at a restaurant or whatever. It's like, oh, can you make sure that this doesn't, you know, come into contact with peanuts? Like, absolutely. Oh, by the way, we didn't check the packaging. It's made in a peanut facility. Oh, you're dead. Oh well. And when... Like, I don't want to say when allergies were being popularized, because that's disingenuous. More of when allergies were really being noticed. Some people did go above and beyond for, like, oh, yes, no, I have an allergy. I can't have such an, you know, oh, I have an allergy to, like, cow's milk, so I have to have, like, almond milk in my latte. Normally that would cost an extra, like, 30 cents, but I have an allergy, so you have to give me that almond milk for free. Like, some people did absolutely. But yeah. Stuff like trigger warnings. Definitely important. But if you go too far on them, they start losing importance. So is there anything left that you want to say about anything I've discussed so far?
How many of you do you think it would take to beat a gorilla?
Okay. What sort of gorilla are we talking about?
Yeah, you know, adult male silverback gorilla.
Silverback gorillas. Those are pretty big. How many?
Yes.
Okay, what kind of stuff would I have access to?
You have access to the same sort of stuff that you yourself actually have access to you. But the question is, how many of you would it take to win that fight? If all of you had access, like, to all the things that you actually have access to.
Okay. I do have, like, a knife in the kitchen. So I'm assuming that all of me would be able to use, like, the knife, right? Or to be
Yes.
one knife.
It basically assume that, you know, whatever you choose to prepare yourself with, you then just have however many copies of you to make this work.
Okay. So let's see, I could have a knife. I don't particularly have any good form of shielding. Maybe I should have bought that riot shield. Knife isn't a good weapon. I don't have any, like, guns or tasers. Tasers are illegal in Canada, I think. Or pepper spray. Also illegal. Oh. I do have one of those security alarm things, though, that, like, you pull it, it makes a lot of loud noise. I'm just imagining, like, 10 of those at once. But it's like, assuming that only one of me needs to survive to be a victory, and assuming that this is going to be, like, battle to the death. Silverback gorilla, that's pretty big, so 10 probably isn't enough. 20... I'm thinking somewhere in, like, 20 to 30 range. Because I'm sure that if I had to, I could find some sort of, like, armor with just the stuff I already have in my apartment. I think I have something resembling armor. Take that knife, duct tape it to, like, the end of a pole. There, I have a spear. That goes a long way. So that's my estimate. I don't have firearms. I don't have riot shields. Potentially have tactics, but that's about it. So... I don't know. I want to finish this off with something big, something grand, D&D, gorilla, blah, 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 blah. So anyway,